Hello, one Ashraf
Hi,
Arjuna.
welcome to
Well,
another episode
the
of
first episode.
the first. Well,
The
not the
first
first.
episode.
We already had an episode, and some technical difficulties
It was a
came along,
shamble.
and shamble, a fumble by me. So, but
Fumble by
hopefully,
Ash. Inspired by Leno, I assume.
yeah. The story was me and Harith was trying to record this podcast using Google Meet. And I told him to that my idea was to record individually the voice using our own laptops, and I forgot to record mine, whereas Haris did record his. So
It's a classic example of a communication error when you have
yeah,
a new Brazilian player in the team and he doesn't know how to speak
I
English.
I maybe expected you to record both of us using the Google Meet app, but it didn't happen that way.
Here we are.
So here we are. We are uh, in our official first episode. I hope. I hope there's no clusterfucks coming.
We can only pray for the best, like Arsenal's upcoming season.
To be fair, we are Arsenal fans. We are used to
This is our
fucking
life.
things up.
Yeah. This is our daily life. We're used to it after so many years, but we're
After
still here.
blind supporting the club, blind love, as they say.
But now we're putting another step into our blind love, and we're talking about
Making
it.
a podcast, waffling
Sure.
about Arsenal. Hopefully, well, maybe there's a silver lining to this because with after Arsene Wenger left, we had two managers, and the first manager Unai Emery didn't pan out to be good. Well, first, firstly, I think because the way that he brings himself to the media, the way that he speaks, does not it's not suitable for an English Premier League. I think because his English is very limited, and communicating to the players as well has become quite a challenge for him, I think. And with Mikel Arteta, when he first came, I think the 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 first thing that we noticed was how easy for him to convey his ideas, and say things how it's how it's meant to be said. I think with Arteta, uh, even though we finished eighth for 2 seasons in a row now, but I think there's what do you think, Harit? Am I waffling
Uh,
here?
I mean, I don't think it applies to all English teams, to be honest, because if you see Bielsa, if
Mm,
Leeds have the same coverage as Arsenal Football Club, you would you would see how the media would attack Bielsa for not, I guess, probably conveying his all ideas and message
mm,
in English. He speaks,
yeah.
I guess he speaks Argentinian, right? With
Mm,
all his backroom
I'm not
stuff,
sure.
he
Yeah, yeah,
needs
yeah.
he relies on his staff to actually convey the message. His ideas are all in his native language,
Mm,
but I think we should be actually very respectful of Unai. He tried his best
mm,
to convey his message in English, even
mm.
though um, it's not the most effective way. Probably he should have just stuck with speaking
Yeah,
Spanish and
yeah.
just asked
I
for
think
his
he
team.
tried too much to speak a language that he's not used to speaking, and
Yeah.
it shows. I think he lost the dressing room by the time in his second season. The football on the pitch was very bad. There's no The Arsenal brand has lost with Unai Emery, I might say, because opponents, regardless of their their ranking in the league, they were making shots against us. Much how do I say it? They were controlling the game, and Arsenal were at the most. at, at the most part was at the back foot, I would say, during the games.
Yeah, but if you remember when he came to Arsenal, his his philosophy was to dictate the game, and
Yeah,
obviously that's
yeah.
the
So,
opposite
and he
of what's
didn't achieve
happened.
that, so that's why he he was. I think it's better
He
for him
failed
to
in that
leave.
sense. Yeah, but
And
if you see how well he performed as a manager for
yeah, that's why I
Villarreal,
think the language barrier had impacted his, uh, the ceiling that he can achieve in Arsenal. I think he proved himself that he is a wonderful tactician. In Villarreal, he beat Man U in the Europa League final.
and we
So
nearly got into Champions League. We were
yeah,
in the Europa League final.
even though he
Just got beat.
finished, I think sixth in La Liga.
Yeah, I mean with Arsenal, we are in Europa League final. We're one step away from Champions League in
mm,
his
yeah, yeah,
second season, first
mm,
season.
yeah.
It just shows how good he is tactically, but in English football, it's just more than
I
some
think
of its parts.
yeah, I think with Arteta having the manager term on his shoulders now, I think it comes to show that how important it is to be, you know, I've seen a video on YouTube about how Jurgen Klopp um, managed to turn around Liverpool. Liverpool at that time when he signed for Liverpool was a very struggling football club. They were a big brand. Historically, they were significant, but they were on the downward. So when Klopp came in, he made some changes in terms of the cultural um, team camaraderie, not just with not just with the players, but as well as with the staff. He made sure that the cooks in the club feel appreciated as much as their highest paid player on the pitch. So I think a certain level of like how a CEO operates in a corporate company, he needs to be able to bring all the ideas into a forward sense, if I'm making sense, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But we see that in Arteta, right? He
Yeah.
brings the right. I mean, we don't know if it's right yet, but he brings the type of character and stuff
Mm,
into his backroom team, and you
yeah.
see the appointments of these younger coaches. I
Yeah,
think one of the
exactly.
coaches is only 25,
Mm,
26, but
yep.
he has the credentials, right? So he has been the in the backroom staff of Atletico Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
It shows
Who are we
that
talking about it?
I can't recall his name, but he's one of the new coaches that's just joined the backroom staff with
I
Arteta,
see.
and
Okay.
he's been working with all the players. And he from the Arsenal videos that we can see,
Mm-hmm.
the players are talking to him and trying to get into his ways of, I guess, drills, new
Yeah.
tactical styles. It just shows that there's a certain type of people
Mm,
that Arteta wants to bring in, not just in terms of players, but also the backroom staff, which is key.
yeah. That brings to my point of being a manager is not just being tactically inept in order to beat your opponents. It's more than that. I think in this modern football business, I think. Um, yeah.
We only see the 90 minutes, right, every weekend. We don't see how they work
Exactly. Exactly.
day out at the training page at the
Mm,
Colney, right?
mm,
So everything must culminate together just to produce a good 90 minutes so we can beat our opponent.
mm. That's why I think fans are frustrated now is because they don't see. I mean, there's not enough coverage on the backroom staff as we like to see.
And we'll see it soon with
Regardless of
Amazon Prime.
yeah, next year we might see them with Amazon Prime with the new all or nothing. I think all or
All
nothing
or
episode.
nothing. I
Yeah,
hope
yeah.
it's all but not nothing.
imagine if imagine if we finish eighth again. It will be uh, quite an
I
interesting
think
viewing, I must say.
I have a feeling Arsenal do have a clause there that says that if we finish six or below, we're gonna delete all the all or nothing. We're not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
show anything,
Uh,
and we're just gonna play some HBO movies
oh,
or some cartoon
that's
movies.
lost opportunity for Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but I mean, they surely have to think about something right there
Yeah.
in the event
Oh
we
man.
perform badly again. I mean,
Mm.
as you imagine.
I imagine the first episode will be, Edu and Arteta stressing about not signing anyone in the first few weeks of transfer window, and looking at the squad. I think they should be nervous because I think throughout the season, last season, it has been brought upon that the quality that the squad have right now is not enough to compete with the top level football in this league.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's been said, and I think I don't know how that would come across to the players. I think they might feel a bit, um, they might start to doubt themselves after Ateta said that. I think, which may be the reason why we see the older players now not performing to the level that we used to seeing, like Aubameyang and Lacazette, because there's a lingering doubt whether or not they will be able to play again this season or maybe the next season. Um, yeah, I think that's.
I think Arteta is right to say that because
Mm,
he has been backing the team throughout the season,
mm,
and when you come to the end of this season, it's just a time for you to review and to
yeah,
see how they perform throughout the season. And as a manager, you need to balance on how you motivate the players throughout the season and
exactly.
how you make sure that these guys are not complacent
Yeah,
and
they're
tries
professional
to. They're
footballers.
professionals. They
Yeah,
paid 400 grand a week.
yeah. And to not just play Fortnite till midnight.
Yeah, exactly. These guys are professionals. They need to step up and
Mm,
elevate and transform their game. They can't sulk when your manager says that they need to improve.
mm.
We're not here to play McDonald's league.
Oh,
It's not a farmers league. It's
yeah.
an English Premier League. Everyone needs to play well. If
Mm,
you see all the our opponents, Man United, Man City, Chelsea, they're all on another level already, and we have to catch up.
yeah, yeah. I guess I'm taking this idea from Us Blog podcast, which was released just yesterday.
Yeah.
So the host, what's he called? James, I think. He was asked if you had a machine strapped onto your head that measures the anxiety levels that you have coming into the season, from 0 to 100, how would you rate? What do you think that machine will conjure up? What's the numbers on your head? What do you think?
I mean, I've been an Arsenal fan for most of my life, so I'm pretty sure I'm quite numb to the
Okay,
stress,
so
and
you're not anxious at
probably
all.
I would say 50, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's pretty high.
you see the work that the club has done, but you also know that there's a lot of players that we still haven't moved on, and
Mm,
certain areas that's still lacking. And my biggest worry is that we just can't score goals.
mm.
Uh,
That
we
is a
have
big
been
worry.
we have been okay defensively last season, a bit worrying in the preseason, but
Mm,
I just hope that when it comes to a real game, those mistakes aren't repeated. But
yeah.
more worryingly, because we are not scoring goals. The only way we can win this league is by scoring 80, 90 goals.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well,
How about you? How about you?
50% is quite high, considering James' answer yesterday. The way that he talks, he seems quite anxious, but he said the number would probably be 30,
Oh,
and it's quite low. And the reason being that he's not feeling that worried is because he feels that what was his answer? I forgot.
but
So he's not
it's not that
worried
anxious.
because
Yeah.
um, Arsenal have been showing progress regardless of the players in terms of how they play. how determined they are on the pitch, and how maybe to a certain extent to a fault because they were pushing way high up the pitch and resulting easy chances for the likes of Chelsea that has the quality to counter attack, to put the through balls as we see in the friendly last 2 weeks.
Mm. Yeah.
But I think he's saying that because the objective of Arsenal this season is not to to win the league. It's to at least finish in a Champions League position, which is top four. And given the fact that Arsenal is not playing any midweek games, and as well, there's certain signings as well that have a positive impact to the performance of the team, uh, whether or not it's being said enough, with the likes of Lokonga, Sambi Lokonga, which has been brilliant throughout preseason, and as well Ben White. We see glimpses of him during the Spurs game, um, how he can contribute to the um, attacking game. I have some doubts with Van White, to be honest, with his defensive, decision making. After 70 minutes of seeing him in his first game, because he seems, um, his physicality is not, um, it's not what we used to with the likes of David Luiz last season. You see how he has lost a few headers with the strikers of the opposition team. Uh, I think that's quite a worry, but I still think he's gonna improve a lot. Being a very young central defender, he's 23, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think for Ben White, I'm not so worried.
Mm,
He has experience in all the English football leagues. He
mm,
has climbed up from the ranks from League One, Championship,
yeah.
and then to the EPL team with Brighton. He has all the traits of a good centre back
Yeah.
who
Of
can
a
still
modern
improve
centre back,
further.
you would say. Yeah.
A modern centre back. Yeah, he
Mm,
can keep the ball on his feet. He can
mm,
play through the midfield
mm,
and build up play for Arsenal. And defensively, he's not elite, but he
yeah.
does the job. He has the concentration of a centre back that Arsenal have quite missed in the past. If you
Yeah.
see all of our centre backs, Rob Holding, David Luiz, who has left, you can if you remember, um, Gabriel. If you remember Gabriel
Yeah.
from who's now in Villarreal or
Mm,
Valencia,
yeah.
even Gabriel Magalhaes,
Yeah.
we lack defenders with good concentration, and I think Ben White is a guy who is fully concentrated on the
Mm,
game. Even how many minutes he's playing, he
mm.
has that trait of a centre back that's dependable.
Hope so.
Physically, probably he might lose some headers with against the opponents. If you see Lukaku is coming, I bet Lukaku is gonna win headers all day long, playing against
Yeah.
Arsenal.
That's another thing
But
we're gonna talk about.
yeah, but tactically, Arteta can fix that if we can push our fullbacks
Mm,
further outside, wider, just to make sure that crosses don't come in. So there's a way to mitigate
yeah.
all of this. So we play to our strengths.
Hopefully, yeah. So, one question I was going to ask you was about the performance that we had for the both games, Spurs and Chelsea. So, what are the things that you picked up from that performance regarding to how well we are going, how well prepared we are going into the first game in Brentford?
Um, I think it's going to be a different game at Brentford against the preseason, but nevertheless, what I see from preseason was we're still trying to build up from the back in terms of play from the keeper
Yeah,
to the defenders, and
there has
then
been a common theme with Arteta's gameplay, which is
I
to
mean
build from the
I
defense.
like that his style still trying to instill that style of play and bringing the players who can do that.
Yeah.
We probably need one more guy in the center of the park
Mm.
to just make sure that we don't lose the ball when we're trying to build up.
Yeah, I guess
Uh,
one thing that I'm slightly concerned about is with the kind of game that Ateta wants to play from the back. I have no problems with that. It's just coming to the attack from the middle of the pitch, there seems to be a lack of aggressiveness in terms of passing. When we see Sambi Lokonga, he tries to bring the ball forward, and then he makes the most simple pass, which is to the right or left fullbacks in Tierney and Bellerin, which perhaps might is sensible, but I think for an elite team, we need to have the option of threading the through balls into the striker as soon as possible, regardless of whether it's a high or low. Um, I think we lack that, and that's a worry because I think with rumors of signing a new creative midfield, I think we need to get that over the line as soon as possible because I think there's a lack of aggressive passes, regardless of how you play. From the back or from the middle, there's no attacking intent, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think there's two things here. Like one, Sambi is still integrating to the team.
Mm.
He's still finding the
Well,
chemistry with
not just
our.
Sambi. I mean, with Granit Xhaka as well.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean Granit Xhaka has been known to do sideways passes all along. So what can we expect from our existing players, right? So
yeah.
that's why we bring new players into the team to
Mm.
bring to give
I'm worried whether it's
different
the players
perspectives.
or just Arteta's style of playing. Whether he insists his players to maximize the number of crosses per game, or you know, that has been a common theme with Arteta. I think for the 2 seasons that he likes to make spaces on the side of the pitch to cross the ball, and oftentimes you have lots of players in the box, but they aren't able to connect with the ball for some reason. Whether or not that's down to the players, or I think yeah, I think mostly it's down to the players. Um, Lack of uh, attacking intent. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the training videos that they posted recently,
Mm,
they show that they're trying to minimize the number of passes and play more direct. Um,
really?
yeah, I think they're doing some drills that trying to make sure that they minimize the number of passes to get into the final third. So
Mm,
that's encouraging. So at least that's to me just signaling that Arteta's idea is to attack more
Route
quickly.
one.
I wouldn't say route one, but it's more efficient than what we have seen in
Yeah,
the past.
yeah,
So we have been passing 80 passes on sideways,
mm,
and then the opponent was just gonna take the ball.
yeah,
And then so secondly, I think it just shows how we need a more aggressive central attacking midfielder in the
yeah.
form of
Definitely, definitely.
Hussein Owa or Odegaard if we're still
Mm,
lucky and there's still opportunity to sign him. And s- I mean, for a deep lying playmaker like Xhaka and Sambi,
mm,
uh, there's a huge gap in the center of the park that they need to cover
mm,
and to play those aggressive passes. So they need to um, calculate the risk of when they do such passes. They can't do it all the time.
mm-hmm.
If the ball is intercepted, it's just going to add pressure to the defense.
Yeah,
So I think it's a job of the more aggressive central attacking midfielder to play
yeah,
to drop in deep and find that run
mm,
from the lines
yeah.
for our attackers to, I guess, Laka or Oba to just attack the ball. So like how Leicester plays it basically.
Mm. I guess from that discussion, it's natural to uh, to kind of bring this discussion to how we think Emil Smith Rowe is going to perform in the number 10 role next season. He's been given that number. Um, uh, be- but I don't think he's ready for some reason.
Um,
I think he's a bit um safe in his passes certain times. Uh, Although you have to give him credit, of his when he receives the ball, he has this ability to let the ball just roll, and just move away from the defender. In certain case, if you see him doing that against Spurs, I think on the final line, he tricked, I think, what's his name, the Spurs defender, and he was free in in the box. But other than that, I think the way that he plays sometimes is a bit um, one-touch football, if you know what I mean. He lacks that
Yeah.
the kind of flair that we used to with, you might say, an Odegaard, for example. He likes to make space for himself, body feint, tricks a couple of defenders in the middle of the pitch, and then make that decisive through ball in order for a striker like Lacazette or Aubameyang to have a clear chance. But with Emil Smith Rowe, he d- he doesn't do that.
Yeah, I think Emil Smith Rowe needs more time playing in the first 11 to create, to know when to create and when
Yeah.
to find spaces. So he's still young. He's 21.
Mm,
And the number 10, I think, creates a big burden on
mm,
him
yeah.
to now figure out what he needs to do. And for such a young player being entrusted for a number 10, I think he has the ability to do so. I'm not
Yeah.
worried about Smith Rowe. He
Yeah.
can deliver. He, I think we will see more glimpse of him doing what he did last season
Yeah.
when our full squad is back,
Mm,
when Gabi is back, when Saka is back.
yeah.
I think he will benefit a lot with a proper number 10 in number 10 or number
Yeah.
8 in the
Yeah.
team who
He
can
seems
support
to
him.
perform well with Odegaard playing beside him.
Yeah, definitely. He
Mm,
needs, a fellow creative midfielders to support him.
mm.
His in I guess in Arsenal, we can't have a Fernandez who just creates all the
You know,
chances in the
you
team.
mean Bruno
It,
Fernandes?
Bruno Fernandez. I
Bruno
hate that
Fernandes.
guy, but he's in my FPL team because I'm sure he's gonna score and he's gonna assist.
That's like a
But we
dagger
don't
to to your heart.
we don't have a Fernandez. We have to build a playing style that uh, takes all the strength from all the
Yeah,
players that we
yeah.
have.
I
We
guess
need
a
to
player
yeah,
that makes all the risk without doubting whether the ball is gonna be counter attacked or lost.
yeah.
I think.
I hope that the English media wouldn't add too much pressure on Smith Rowe this season,
Mm.
because he just got the number 10. I think we
I
need
guess
to
with
play a
him,
long term game.
why I'm voicing out this concern is because I see him more as a, like, the kind of connective guy, if you know what I mean. He likes to connect plays. He likes to do that little one twos around the box, with maybe with Saka or Pepe. He's not the guy that kind of, for me at least, I think, kind of takes the ball and makes stuff happen using his feet alone. I think
Yeah, yeah,
he's dependent on his teammates to make the kind of runs, the 1-2 runs, in order for him to make something happen.
yeah. I guess
Uh,
if you
I'm
play
not
a
saying
football
that he's,
manager,
yeah.
if
I'm
you
not
play a
saying
football
that
manager,
he,
this guy is an attacking midfielder. He's not advanced playmaker.
mm, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm not saying that he's not a number 10. I'm just saying that the qualities that he has is kind of hybrid striker, I might say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. False nine sort of a
yeah,
shape of a
exactly.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
that I think that's a fair reflection of his playing style right now.
mm,
So it's up to the coaching staff on how they want to mold Smith Rowe
yeah.
as a more impactful player, I guess, for Arsenal, right? So
Mm,
if we have a, advanced playmaker who is more comfortable on the ball, like Odegaard, and we
yeah,
can use both, right? So
yeah,
that's where I think we can uh, create more chances.
exactly. Yeah, you see like into teams like Man City, they have stacks of players who knows how what to do when they're given the ball. Even without supporting players 20 or 30 yards around them, they know what to do. We see that. I see clips of Bernardo Silva playing in the wing. He's alone with three defenders on the side, on the right wing, and there's no Man City players around, and he's still able to make the space and pass the defenders and make a chance for himself. And that can be said to all the Man City players, I think, with the Gundogans, the Kevin De Bruyne, the Mahrez. I think um, Arsenal need to kind of emulate that approach in terms of having players stacking the right kind of players that fit the Arteta's mold, and not just have a players that do certain things quite well. Like for example, with Aubameyang, he likes to run behind the defenders quite well, but other than that, I mean, recently
Nothing
he
much.
nothing much than that can be said. And as well with Lacazette, the kind of quality that he has, he's actually quite good holding the ball for the kind of false nine position. He likes to receive the ball from the midfield and kind of makes the decisive pass to the running attacking midfielder. Um, and as well he can finish. Let's be honest, he can make a uh, he can finish outside the box. But other than that, his dribbling is not quite to par with the kind of players that I mentioned in Man City. Um, Maybe the players that we have right now have the skills, but does not operate to a certain level that Man City players are. With Yeah.
I think to be able to play or to have that f- kind of style and flair like a Man City player does,
Mm,
I think they need to be comfortable with their tactical approach first.
mm,
So I think Man City have developed over the years a certain playing style that all the players are just like given, this is how we're gonna play and this is how we're gonna train every day.
yeah.
So it's a process that has helped, I think, Man City players to become comfortable to dribble and also to take on opponents just by themselves when there's three opponents.
Mm,
For Arsenal, when you are still figuring out what's the best way to play, and you start once to dribble opponents, like
mm,
I think we see Pepe does that, and because you are the only one who's doing it, and the system doesn't is not fully prepared yet for
mm,
a more flair and a more swagger kind of team play,
yeah.
then a bit difficult for you to do it alone.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's up to the manager to kind of instill those values during training
Mm,
and
yeah.
signing the right players, which I think he's doing right now. But we have to give Arteta as well the benefit of the doubt because it's only been two transfer windows, and one season we've been plagued with this pandemic.
Mm,
So I think uh, Arsenal fans have the right to voice out concerns, but as well, I think we must see uh, the positives that Arteta brings to the team in terms of uh, how much aggressive we are with the ball compared to the last few games with Unai Emery. If you remember how weak we are, we were literally just sitting back, playing against I think a Crystal Palace team, just waiting for for the right chance to counter attack, which I think is far away from what we used to see with Arsenal.
yeah, it's not the Arsenal way, and we it's quite I'm quite grateful that we nip it in the bud and just like stop. Thanks Unai.
Yeah, yeah,
We're gonna restart our process here, because
yeah,
if we were to continue for a couple more seasons in that
mm,
philosophy of a play, I think we're gonna lose all the Arsenal
yeah,
values that we have built throughout the Wenger era.
mm.
I don't think we want to see Arsenal playing. I mean, five at the back, six at the back, waiting for a chance to break.
No,
I
that's
think
just not
I,
our.
no fans would just pay. Arsenal's stadium ticket is one of the most expensive in the world,
Yeah, yeah,
and if you just come to wait for Arsenal to break
yeah,
when someone makes a mistake,
yeah.
I think it's just gonna destroy the value and the brand of the club.
Mm,
We play football for its art, right?
mm.
It's a beautiful game.
It's Wenger's
We
vision, is it?
we
Football is
want to
art.
play a we want to play a nice brand of football which
Mm,
is entertaining, but at the same time scores points. I mean,
mm.
there's no point playing a beautiful game when you're losing
Yeah,
5-3.
yeah,
But that's a balance, right?
yeah. To your point, I think adding to your point, having to win games while playing a beautiful football. I think one thing that Arteta has brought to the team is a kind of defensive stability we have not seen with Arsene Wenger in his last few seasons. I think um, I think we were one of the best teams defensively last season. I think were we third in terms of goal conceded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
So I think there's proof in how Ateta wants to lay the foundations of the team. You know, make a very solid defensive team, not just in terms of the aggressiveness of the tackles and positioning, but as well controlling the ball, using the ball in to defend, which I think has been a common theme with Ateta's kind of football. He likes to play around with the goalkeeper, passing it around to a certain extent. Detrimental at certain times, but we have to give him credit.
Yeah, I think in the process, I mean, if we look at the Liverpool model, it's a
Mm,
4 years process.
yeah,
First 2 years is about building the foundation. We are
yeah,
there. I
yeah.
think we have
Hopefully.
bearing for a backup goalkeeper. I think we
Mm.
have a
I think
great
we are a
great
few,
centre defender,
three more key signings from becoming
uh,
um,
Champions
competitive.
League contender.
Yeah,
I think. So yeah, as you point out, right? So
yeah,
I think the next couple of transfer seasons would be more on how do you replace the aging attackers with a
mm,
more effective center forwards
mm,
who's young, more hungry, more aggressive, and modern attackers in English Premier League. So which brings us to the point how frustrating it is to miss out on the potential transfer of Lautaro Martinez.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I think from that, I think I have a question to you. Uh, do you think that it's better for us to let the kind of have a more um, long-term plan? For example, like if given the chance, would you sign all of our transfer targets in a single transfer window, or maybe just let that period span out to maybe a couple of seasons? Uh, Maybe make a few not more than two key signings per transfer window, and let that kind of pan out throughout the season, and maybe make adjustments, if you know what I mean, like the Liverpool kind of way of dealing with this rebuild team. They hadn't done the rebuild in a single transfer window.
Mm.
Do you think, given the context of how Arsenal is playing right now, do you think it's better for us to just let the team pan out instead of panic buying the next 60 70 million player?
Yeah, I think on that point, um, there's a lot of factors to consider, but I think on in my personal opinion that how do you rebuild a team? It must be over time.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I agree.
um, Bringing in five marquee signings in one season is just going to destabilize the team on many fronts.
Mm.
First
But
is style of
fans don't see
play.
that though.
Yeah, so I think this is how the club needs to engage the fans more on
Mm.
sharing their ideas and what's the business plan here and what's
Yeah,
the idea to develop the team. So if you
yeah,
communicate these ideas to the fans and fans would get it. Right now we're just at least worse before we're just in this big black hole that we don't know what's going on in the
yeah,
club.
yeah, yeah.
So the fans engagement plays a crucial key here, just to explain what is the plan for the club moving
Mm.
forward. So if you can tell them, look, we're gonna have five 5 years of development where we're gonna focus in what area in what which year,
Mm.
and we're gonna show the result. That will help the fan to understand the time that we need to bring in more players that can improve the team. So if you see in the past, there's a lot of teams who try to revamp and overhaul their squad in one season,
Mm.
and it's just gonna more often than not is destabilizing, and they did not perform,
Mm.
and in the end they just lose those players because these guys are frustrated and they don't fulfill their promises.
Yeah.
So if you build a team over a span of few years, you can test out the style of play, and you can test out these guys whether you are making the right strategy in terms of signing. and
Mm-hmm.
also it gives you time to identify the players in other positions in the longer term. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have this time to scout these players to find the right opportunity in their contracts, because buying players you need to see the contracts that they are in at the moment.
Yeah.
So right now again we are in the unfortunate position of needing to sign a central attacking midfielder with a high price
Mm.
just because we couldn't find the right player when we needed it the most. So this goes back to the plan, the longer term plan of the team. Who are the players you want to bring in what position,
Mm-hmm.
and how does it fit in your process of developing the squad
Yeah.
over a few years?
Yeah. You make perfect sense there. I think. I guess. As well, if we sign, Lautaro Martinez, how do we handle Aubameyang and Lacazette, because they have been, or even though they have been, slightly underwhelming. Um, there's, I think there's an added dynamic there which I think Arteta needs to handle, because Aubameyang's not just a squad player; he's the highest paid player in the team. And if you bring a marquee signing in the striker position, um, that wouldn't necessarily solve the problems that we have in terms of scoring goals, because I think what Ateta has realized now is that he needs to maximize the performance. If you see his interview after the game against Spurs, he said that what we have, we need to maximize, and to worry about the things that we don't have is no point. He said in his exact words, which I think makes total sense, because um, if you're gonna just buy certain players and not considering the fact that you have a key player in the team already, even though he's not performing well, that will mess up the dynamic. And as well, he's the captain of the team. What would we feel if Arteta replaced him with a younger striker who has not proven himself, who has done quite well in the Italian league, but let's be honest, the Italian league is not as competitive. And to not be given the chance to at least prove himself that he still has the capabilities to become the top striker for Arsenal. I think I think we need to see how this Aubameyang situation pan out. I think, at least in terms of the kind of business side of it as well, because if we spend too much money on a player that's not going to play, you know that
Yeah,
that's just not Arsenal. I think, to a point. Wait,
you're right. You're right.
I'm slightly worried about whether this recording session is recording my voice, because I'm not seeing the kind of um. Are you seeing?
Uh,
There's no,
uh,
in my the
your
voice kind
voice
of
bars,
line.
right?
Yeah, the spike is not there, so I'm
The
slightly
spot.
worried whether it's recording my voice or not.
I think we're seeing the opposites. I'm not seeing my line, and I'm seeing your line.
Okay, that's cool. That's good. That's
So
good.
let's
That's
hope not
40 minutes.
another shamble. Another shamble here.
Shambles.
Oh,
Oh man.
oh my god.
Uh,
Oh, Arsenal.
ah,
Oh, Arsenal.
that's
It's just the
that's
name of
that's
our
the
podcast.
price of supporting us.
That's, yeah, we chose the wrong name, for
Yeah.
fuck's sake.
Oh my.
Pardon my language.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna throw a bottle here, like Arsene Wenger.
Oh man.
But I guess
I just hope this recording session is recording us, because I think we've been talking
we're
quite
gonna
a lot.
pray to the God of Arsenal, to the gods of Arsenal.
We're making quite interesting points here, and to not be able to record and post this
It's
would
gonna
be a
be
great shame,
frustrating.
I think.
Yeah, it's like missing out in the Europa League final.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think for the Lautaro Martinez situation, if we were to bring him on board to the Arsenal this season, we need to offload Lacazette
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
we
That's the
couldn't
point.
have three elite strikers playing in a 4-2-3-1
Yeah.
position. We can't offload Aubameyang. He just signed a new contract. He's a club captain.
Mhm.
We need to respect him, and
Yeah.
he needs to play even though we bring in Lautaro Martinez.
Mhm.
I mean, he has not been effective on the wing. Uh,
He
is
hasn't
it
been effective in the striker position as well. To your point.
Yeah, you just point out the obvious there. I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to be nice to Oba. He's our club captain, so I'm gonna stick to
Oh,
my point.
yeah.
He has not been effective on the wing, and hopefully,
Um,
when a striker of Martinez caliber comes in, he feels the need that he needs to push himself now. Right
yeah,
now, I think there's a sign of complacency when you have your best bud playing in the striker
yeah,
position.
exactly. That's another thing
There's
that
no
we need to talk
competition.
about. It's the kind of brotherhood relationship that Alba and Lacazette have.
Yeah,
Is it um is it
detrimental. I guess.
block? I mean, is it detrimental to Arteta in terms of having to offload one of the players because they had such good bond with each other? If say we were to sell Lacazette, would that impact the performance of Aubameyang having lost his best mate in the club? Which I think adding
That's a
another
possible
layer
reason.
of difficulty and complication to the situation that is already fucked up.
That's possible. That's a possibility, right? Because we
Yeah,
don't know. We're in Malaysia. We don't have no idea how what is the professional level of Oba, right? We
yeah,
don't see him every day, but
yeah.
let's say he is a professional guy, and Lautaro Martinez comes in and we sell Laka.
Mm,
He now feels that, look, I'm the leader of the team. There's no more time to play around,
yeah,
and that's this marquee signing who wants to prove himself.
yeah.
And as a captain, I'm gonna improve my game too. But on the
Hopefully,
opposite side,
yeah.
if he does not feel the same way and we're just gonna be stuck in a position where your club captain doesn't want to play for you.
Mm-hmm. I guess as well, pointing out the kind of bond that they have. I wish they had translated that relationship to the football pitch because
They had, to be honest,
yeah,
they did.
but recent
Not
seasons,
this season.
is it because the way that Arteta sets up his gameplay, he does whether or not he realized that the potential that these two have in terms of combining and making chances for themselves, having one in the wing and one in the striker position kind of makes it hard for them to combine because the only output that they have is a cross from the wing. And Lacazette not be not the best at heading the ball into the goal, let's be honest. um I think maybe if we were 15, 20 years ago when football was still playing 4-4-2, they would flourish. But now football has changed so much in terms of how the ball is being carried around the pitch. And with the defensive side as well, defensive teams are parking the bus more often than not. This time around, we have 10 players behind the ball if we are playing against a defensive team. Um, yeah, I think that
Yeah,
I don't know.
if you look at that, right? So this is a conundrum about having both Oba and Laka at the same
Yeah.
time. The question is always, do we play them together, and if we do, in what formation?
Mm,
So if
mm,
you look at Unai, I mean, how much we hate his five at the back and two up front position, but it has been effective. We
mm,
scored goals and we won the game. And Oba and Laka partnership has brought up to the Europa League final,
yeah.
and both of them have been scoring a lot of goals. That shows that, um, for both of them to work together in the same team, there needs to be a compromise. What formation does it work best? And
Mm,
right now, as you pointed rightly so, 4-2-3-1 formation with Oba on the wide on the left and Laka at the up front,
mm,
it just doesn't fully appreciate the value that they have as a striking partner.
yeah. Yeah.
So with we're stuck also because we just promoted him to club captain, and there's no way now for us to not play Oba, and the only
Mm,
choice we have is only to drop Saka for another guy.
yeah.
For example, like Oba plays up top and then Saka plays
Mm.
on the left wing, but there's no choice for us to only play Laka up front because you can't have your club captain on the bench. So,
Yeah.
uh, this is where, the decision making in the past have been quite, um, questionable.
Mm,
So usually you would pick a club captain who is not just popular with the squad, but it makes sense from your tactical point of view and
Not
just
just
gives you
tactical. I think
flexibility.
in terms of personality, we need to have that strong kind of telling you off if you do
Definitely.
something wrong. Captain with Aubameyang, yes, he brings the kind of good vibes to the
Yeah.
team, but I question his discipline sometimes, whether he's stern enough to his teammates to become the club captain. I think
Yeah, I see
maybe
more
I'm
of a
taking
devil
too
in
much
you.
to it because I don't know how the team dynamic works in the changing room.
No,
But
no, I think you're right. If you
yeah,
look at our previous club captains who've done well, Tony Adams, he's not a funny guy. He's
yeah,
just gonna, he's
he's
just gonna
no nonsense kind of
a no
defender.
nonsense kind of
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, if you see um Thierry Henry, he is a striker,
Mhm.
but the
He
character
delivers.
that he has himself,
Yeah.
he's serious. He
Mhm.
doesn't smile around and joke around when
Yeah.
things aren't doing well.
Mhm.
I don't see that with Oba, but as a club captain, he needs to learn this.
Yeah.
He needs, I mean, he needs to show that he
Maybe
can
he's just
rally
not
the
that kind
team
of
and carry
guy.
the team. That's the problem,
Yeah.
right? So you can't be a club captain when you're not the kind of guy.
Yeah.
You need to be the kind of guy to be a club captain to show that you are able to bring the
Yeah.
team and to tell off the team when something's not doing well.
Yeah. Well, I guess I see why he was nominated as captain is because w- um during his prime in the Arsenal shirt, he was carrying the team. He was making crazy goals that led us to the uh, FA Cup trophy. Um, and maybe the kind of he what he brings to the team in terms of being the club captain is the kind of man of the match performances that he brings week in week out, which is why I think
Yeah.
he was
I feel that's where we got it wrong
yeah.
because to pick a club captain based on man of the match. This is just an assumption, right?
Mm,
So let's say the decision was he's a popular guy. He's been scoring for us.
mm,
Hence, we think the players are going to rally around him
yeah.
because he has delivered. I think if you look at other clubs who were successful, the club captain is not just someone who is popular.
Mm-hmm,
He needs someone who can tell off the players
mm,
and also show that he is serious about things. If you look at the captain of the Euro so far, right? All the
mm-hmm,
captains are just guys who no nonsense and just going to stick to the ground and
yeah.
make sure that the team can perform
Mm-hmm,
rather than having the baggage on their back needing to perform
mm-hmm,
as a club captain. So I think the way that they take about how they select a captain is very important here.
yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. I think we have to see how this pans out in a year two with this Aubameyang situation because I think to disregard all his contributions, regardless of whether or not he's captain, um, would be disrespectful to the kind of player
Definitely.
that he is. We don't want to repeat the mistake that we made with Ozil, which I think the club has massively um,
Mm.
disrespected his contributions because let's be honest, without the Mesut Ozil signing, we wouldn't have won the FA Cup after a few years of not winning anything with Wenger.
And we wouldn't stay in
Yeah,
Champions League too.
he brought the kind of elite mentality to the club that which have not been seen beforehand. And the way that we
I
handle
think
this
we failed
Mesut Ozil
Ozil.
situation in the pandemic as well,
Mm.
I think it's been shameful. I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I
Is it
think as a club
how how
we
can we fault Mesut Ozil in this situation? Because is he with reports coming from the club saying that he's not willing to cooperate with Arteta's plan during the pandemic when they were at home, where they were in lockdown. Arteta have this kind of
mm,
drills and the kind of plan that that he had to make sure his players do. And Mesut Ozil was one of the players that did not um, did not adhere to his game plan. So that's why he has lost the respect of the manager, I think. Um, but I think his contributions to the club has been too enormous to disregard, regardless of how we need to treat Mesut Ozil as a club legend. I think.
Um, I think it's a very tough time in the club.
Yeah.
Recent years. Just the fact that the it happened during the time period where we have not performing well and we have been struggling. That's where I think the issue escalates.
Mm,
Um, you're right. He has contributed to a lot to the team in the past when he just joined and he's like the top assist and he just makes sure that we stayed in the Champions League.
mm,
Um, I think this issue is a bit difficult because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes and
yeah.
whether the reports are accurate.
Yeah.
We have to respect not just Ozil, also we have to respect the manager who's in charge.
Mm,
It is their responsibility to make sure that the team do as he told them to do
yeah.
because it's his job on the line and the players are
Exactly.
reporting to the manager. They need to respect the manager. But
Mm,
I think how it is handled and also shown in the media is where it doesn't reflect well on the club
mm,
on as the stature of Arsenal.
mm,
But Ozil is a elite player who's done well
mm.
and
And maybe perhaps
he
his last season he dropped off a little bit.
he dropped off. I think also because the style of play that we also changing into
Mm,
and we move into a system where everyone needs to be pressing. We need everyone to have
yeah.
a high energy. He is not
Yeah.
that kind of player.
Yeah.
He's going to find space and drop back and look for the run from
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah. That's why I
If
rate
he's not the
Martin
kind of
Odegaard
player,
so much, is because he is able to do what Mesut Ozil does, but at the same time he made sure that the defensive his defensive responsibilities are also uh being done. I think
yeah.
in accordance to the manager game plan.
I think to this point, if you remember, Thiago said a couple of months ago he
Which
hates the
Thiago?
modern football. Thiago, Liverpool's Thiago.
Okay.
So he hates the modern football because it just emphasizes so much on pressing, high energy, and
Mm,
physicality. That's where Ozil, Thiago, these kind of players, they thrive in the old type of football where flair and idea trumps the
mm-hmm,
physicality and um, speed of the game because it just allows for creativity, art, and skill to be shown. And now we see less of a beautiful game, and now everyone is just pressing, everyone is just running from behind, everyone is just
yeah.
playing the
It's
tactical
become
game.
more of a boxing match now, I think.
Definitely, it's
Yeah.
just whether or not you just want to put a ring on the side.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just battle it out, I think, with modern football. If you have the better, punches and better stamina, you win. With
Yeah,
that
you're
being
right. You're right.
translated directly, I think, to how we
It's
play
a
football
boxing
right now.
Premier League.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Whereas
boxing
I
Premier
think
League.
during the kind of Wenger era, I think football were much more of a performance, you might say.
It's a performance. It's
Yeah,
an art.
like a
Everyone has a
like
chance
ballet.
to. That might be too beautiful.
That's why I think as
I-
well, Arsene Wenger, if he's young still now, he the way that he plays, he wouldn't be able to compete with the kind of Gegen pressing with
Mm,
Pep's, high press and uh, strong footballers. I think Arsene Wenger wouldn't be able to cope. I think. No disrespect to Arsene Wenger. I think he's been one of the most influential figures in football in recent times. The way that he brings, new ideas in terms of how the players eat, their
mm,
diets and everything. Um, that has changed English football forever. But now it has changed to a point that um, the way that he wants to play his football wouldn't be as competitive
yeah.
as it used to.
Yeah, I think the modern football has transformed so much that
Mm.
you won't see this kind of manager. I don't think he wants to be a manager of a club anymore when
Yeah,
because just the
I think
way things are right
he's done
now.
enough. I think
Yeah,
Arsene Wenger, big up Arsene Wenger. If you're listening to this, I love you, man.
Monsieur.
Yeah,
We love him, man. We
yeah,
love him.
of course, of course. Yeah, is that which season is that? Your jersey there?
I think this
Is it
would
the first
be
season with Adidas?
yeah. I think so. It's
Yeah,
the first season with
I
Adidas.
still have this Puma jersey. If you can see, this is the
This
first,
is when
the
this is
closest
when well,
jersey that I can find in my closet, so I just took it.
I associate the blue jersey, the blue Puma jersey with the 2-1 win at Old Trafford where Welbeck scores.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly right. I remember that.
That's I remember that match.
That night.
It was Welbeck and then Nacho Monreal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're exactly right. Yeah.
I think that's the iconic match of this
I.
blue jersey,
Mhm. Mhm.
Puma blue jersey.
Yeah. Thanks for pointing it out. It's quite sharp.
All right, man.
Yeah.
I think we're
Are
good.
we good?
We good. We good.
Let's just hope
We
everything goes to plan now, because I really hope that this gets recorded, because
Me too. Me too.
yeah,
We
we
it's
should.
our second try.
Yeah, second try, and hopefully there's no hiccups along the way to prevent us to So
Process.
how do you how's your Instagram account?
I think we're
How,
just gonna
how many followers that
uh
you have right now?
we already have 4 followers, mate.
Oh man, and
It's
two of them
it's
are in this podcast right now.
two of them are in this podcast.
Yeah, that's fine.
It
That's
it
fine.
will take time. It will take
Yeah,
time. It's a
it's
process.
about
It's a
making
process.
content.
Yeah.
If we post enough content, then hopefully it gets
If
picked up.
I mean, if we're making sense, people will follow us. If we're just not making sense,
Hopefully, we're
and
not just waffling
let's
here.
not.
I mean, the discussion we have is, I think, it is a lot. There's people might argue that we might sound deluded, I think, but the way that we go around how we think about this club right now is based on not just what we see, but as well as the emotion that we have towards the manager. I think we like what he's trying to do, uh, even though that might not have been translated in terms of the results and the team performance in the league. But we sincerely hope that Arteta will be given the chance to prove himself with the right team, with the kind of right player profiles that he wants. That might not take as quick as 2 seasons. It might take 3 or 4 seasons, you might say. But I think the kind of consensus that we have from this podcast is that we want Arteta to succeed with the right squad and the kind of right backup from the owners as well.
Yeah, perfectly point out.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, hopefully, if you agree with us, then good. If you don't agree, then just don't listen to us.
Do let us know what you think
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I mean, if we have a view from more Arsenal fans out there, we would see what you guys think about. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
come from the same angle here, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah,
most often than not, we agree to each other's point
yeah,
here.
yeah.
So if there's a new way of thinking that on Arsenal fans that we have not seen,
Mm-hmm.
that'll be a good way to dissect them.
Yeah. If you're interested in coming to this session, then just let us know.
Yeah, we are more than happy to see more Arsenal fans.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So is this gonna be a weekly thing, or
I think
two
we're gonna come
twice
back
a
next
week
week. I think a
maybe?
weekly thing will be there.
Yeah, whenever you're free, man.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Catch you again soon.
Okay. All right.
Let's hope this record works.
I really hope it works. Now, are we gonna stop this though?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, I thank anyone who listened to this, and hopefully we're gonna bring more content to you soon. With We're just waiting for the next thing to happen to Arsenal right now. So
which is very soon.
which is very soon.
This
The next
Friday, this
bad
Friday.
thing to happen, we're gonna talk about it, and maybe
Yeah,
rant and trying to make sense of what's going on. Hopefully, it brings you entertainment whether or not you support Arsenal or not.
we'll catch up again after Friday
Okay,
after we beat Brentford
hopefully,
at
hopefully, man. Yeah, for sure, for
Community
sure.
Stadium.
All right, thanks, bro.